All right, let's get right into it. If you're a facility manager, you know the drill, right? It's a constant battle. Every single upgrade feels like this huge, daunting expense. But what if we could flip that script entirely? I mean, what if every improvement wasn't just a cost draining your budget, but an actual, powerful investment, something that gives you a clear return? Well, that's what we're going to break down today.
So first, let's talk about a situation that pretty much every facility manager knows all too well. It's that daily dilemma of just trying to keep a really complex building running smoothly without, completely blowing the budget.
It's a really direct question, I know. But it's the one that keeps you up at night, isn't it? When every single day brings a new fire to put out, it's so easy to feel like your facility is actively working against you. Now, what's really interesting is how personal this whole mission can get. This is Clayton Poff. So get this, he went from managing facilities for clients at Home Depot to a life-changing battle with mold poisoning. That incredibly tough journey gave him this powerful new focus, helping other managers make smart, strategic decisions about their building upgrades with a huge focus on air quality.
Clayton's story just hits home because it really taps into a universal truth for every facility manager out there. You're constantly reacting to equipment failures, to budget alerts, to complaints from staff. It's just this exhausting cycle that drains both your energy and, of course, your resources. And look, these aren't just little annoyances. These issues have serious real-world consequences. We're talking about maintenance costs just spiraling out of control, health risks from poor air quality that frankly you just can't ignore anymore, and that constant threat of not being in compliance that's always looming. Then you add in lost productivity because equipment is always failing, you're wasting energy left and right. Is it any wonder that staff morale just tanks? It's a relentless grind. But here's the good news. It does not have to be this way. Let's pivot to the solution and see how we can build towards a much smarter approach. We're going to shift from constantly firefighting to actually future-proofing with a really clear blueprint. And here it is. This is the three-step optimization blueprint. I want you to think of it like a GPS for navigating all your building upgrades. It's a structured, proven process designed to take you from those initial what-if questions all the way to a documented long-term return on your investment. You know, what makes this so effective is just how simple and accessible it is. It all starts with step one, a super low-risk $250 feasibility report. This is your diagnostic tool. It tells you exactly what's needed and whether it's financially viable. From there, step two gives you a detailed assessment report with full project plans. And then finally, step three is the turnkey building upgrade project that puts the plan into action and totally transforms your facility. Okay, so how does this blueprint actually work in practice? Well, it's powered by a really comprehensive set of technologies that address the core systems of any building. Let's take a look at what's called the A.W.E.E toolkit. A.W.E.E is basically the framework for a complete, holistic upgrade. It stands for air, water, electric, and envelope. And by tackling these four pillars together, you're not just patching problems anymore, you're optimizing the entire building as one big interconnected system. So let's start with A for air. This is all about your HVAC system and the indoor air quality. We're talking about technologies like Lumiere UVC fixtures. They use ultraviolet light to basically zap the air clean, reducing pathogens and, get this, slashing energy costs by up to 20%. And then you've got things like Permatron Prevent filters, which act like a shield, stopping junk like cottonwood and bugs before it can ever clog up your system. Next up is W for water. The goal here is pretty simple. Protect your entire plumbing infrastructure. HydroFlow technology is a real game changer. It's a chemical-free solution that sends these tiny signals through the water to prevent and even remove limescale buildup. This protects your pipes, your boilers, cooling towers, extending their life and keeping everything running efficiently. The first E stands for electric. You know your equipment is sensitive, and dirty power can really damage it over time. PowerWorks' clean power systems basically condition the electricity that's flowing through your building. This protects all your valuable assets, lowers maintenance costs, and cuts down on energy use. The result? These systems often pay for themselves in less than 2 years. It's kind of a no-brainer. And the final E is for the building envelope. We're talking about the roof and walls. A huge amount of heat gets transferred right through the building's exterior. Supertherm is this incredible ceramic coating that was actually developed with NASA. It creates a thermal barrier, blocking heat transfer and dramatically cutting down on how hard your HVAC system has to work. So you've got the blueprint, you've got the technology, but what about the biggest hurdle of all, the upfront cost? Let's talk about how we get from a plan on paper to a fully funded, real-world project. Okay,
And this right here, this is often the showstopper, the big roadblock. But listen, it doesn't have to be. For qualified projects, you can actually secure 100% financing. Yeah, you heard that right. 100%. That means you can move forward without having to find this massive pile of cash up front.
And we're not talking about small projects either. This financing can support some pretty significant upgrades, covering projects all the way up to $5 million.
And here's a quick look at just how accessible this can be. Through partners like Pathway Lending in Tennessee, for example, businesses, nonprofits, and even government entities can get sustainability loans with below-market interest rates. I'm talking as low as 4%, with flexible terms and, again, up to 100% financing.
So the big question, does all this actually work in the real world? Let's look at the proof. This is what we call the one-year hero story, where a facility manager goes from just fighting fires to celebrating a major win.
Let's take the FedEx Forum in Memphis, home of the Grizzlies. After they installed PowerWorks technology, their chief engineer said they saw a dramatic decrease in power fluctuations. Think about that. Departments that rely on sensitive electronics had fewer resets and way less downtime. That's a huge operational improvement you can see right away.
And here's the bottom line, the part that really matters. Just 9 months after the project, the VP of Arena Operations confirmed they were already ahead of schedule on their return on investment. The money they saved on utilities and not having to replace expensive components was already proving the value of the upgrade.
This timeline just lays it all out so clearly. The whole process is designed for speed and for results. You can go from that first initial assessment to a fully funded project in about a month. And within a single year, you can have your own documented success story, just like FedEx Forum, proving the ROI and transforming your role from just a cost manager into a true value creator.
So that brings us to the final question for you. With a clear blueprint, with proven technology, and with financing that's actually accessible, the path from overhead to ROI is clearer than it has ever been. So what story are you going to tell a year from now?